Welcome back to Sedlak Off-Road School. Today with another adventure bike off-road riding tip, and we're going to talk about skidding. We had that last video where we talked to you about controlling your brakes and how to control the skid. Today we want to use the skid to turn the bike around and make it very efficient. So you have these moments when you're going down, especially a gravel road, a dirt road, and you just want to flick the bike around real quick. We have that video up here where we talked about a U-turn, and that's like the slower version of this one. Today we want to talk about a quick one. This is also a really great exercise to get you ready to eventually work on doing power slides. And that's a technique that we get a lot of requests for. People want to learn how to power slide standing up. Doing this drill here, that 180 skid, then getting on the power, is the perfect intro to later on doing these power slides. So we're going to get right into this one. The technique is the same as the skid that we talked about before. So you come in, you pull in your clutch off the throttle, and then a full lock on the rear. That will lock up the rear of the bike. Obviously, it's going to start stepping out. Now you want to start turning the bike around. So instead of just holding the bar straight and not leaning anywhere, you're leaning in to the side that you want the bike to turn. So as you're leaning in, the rear of the bike, the back tire is going to step out a little bit, and you're going to turn your bars in the opposite direction. So if you want to skid around to the left, the rear tire will go out and your bars will turn to the right, opposite direction. The bike then will really come loose. And initially, and we'll show you in this clip here, we want you to just skid the bike in and stop at 90 degrees to the trail. So this is the most important part about this drill. We do that at our adventure bike trainings a lot, and most riders struggle with this initial part, just getting the bike to 90 degrees. The second half then becomes a lot easier, but there's just too much hesitation, so make sure you work your way up to that. Initially, just skid straight, get a feel for how the bike reacts, and then just step by step, every time a little bit more until you're at 90 degrees, and then just stop there. Don't overthink it, right? Focus on this one drill, just skidding in, getting your bike to 90 degrees. That's it for now. So now you're comfortable, right? You kind of have a really good feel for how quick the bike steps out, for how you need to, control the bike from the handlebars. Now it's time to really flick the bike back around. And what you need to do here is just a little bit more speed. So you come in a little bit faster, you set the bike up exactly the same way like you're doing the 90-degree stop, and then you just stay on the brakes, like stay committed. The bike is already rotating. So if you keep your foot on the brake and you stay leaned in with your bars turned in the opposite direction, the bike will make a full rotation. Now we're coming to the part where we start working on the acceleration, and that's where the technique is very similar to doing the power slide. Now we're sitting down, right? So the bike rotates. The last, so like 25%, we're getting off the foot brake, starting to accelerate, and that will complete the rotation of the rear end of the bike. The traction is already loose because you're just skidding, so you're just running on the sidewall of your tire there. Once you start to accelerate, you're just gonna pick up some wheel spin, and the bike will rotate all the way around. Really important now is the body position. As you're accelerating, make sure that you pull on the handlebars a little bit. We talk in our videos when we talk about standing up a lot to where we don't want you to push or pull on the handlebars so much. In this specific case, you do want to make sure, one, you lean forward, and then under acceleration, you straighten out your bars a little bit. They're still slightly tilted to the right if you're making a left turn, and you just pull on the bars, like kind of in a sense pull yourself forward while you accelerate, and the bike will rotate right around. So what's difficult with this drill is you're really aggressive on the rear brake because you need to lock the bike up, you need it to skid around. You need to be a lot more careful on the throttle. You can't just hammer the throttle because there's not a lot of traction and the bike's already rotating. So if you just hammer it, it will rotate all the way around, and either you're just gonna do a full 360, or the bike's just going to slide away from you and you're going to drop it. So make sure that in that initial phase, take your time rotating the bike on the skid under braking, and then when you accelerate, it's an easy acceleration. You're sort of like 20% on the throttle, and then as you kind of feel the bike moving out of the turn, you get on a little bit harder. But that initial throttle response has to be nice and smooth, and then gradually go up. If you just spin around, hammer it wide open, that rear end will just snap away from you. So I'll break it down, right? We'll do the skid. So you come up, pick up a good amount of speed. You need some speed in order to get the bike to rotate. Pull in your clutch, off the throttle, full lock on the rear brake. Now make sure that your outside knee, the knee that's on the rear brake, stays tight to the bike. You don't want that sticking out. I take my left foot, my inside leg off a little bit, put it forward just to help me a little bit with the rotation of the bike. Same thing there, make sure that that leg stays close to the bike. You don't want it too far off. Under acceleration, make sure that your thighs with your legs, you're really squeezing the bike. We see too many riders that start to accelerate and right away they get pulled towards the back of the bike. You gain too much traction in the rear, and instead of the bike rotating, it actually just takes off straight forward. So make sure that you, one, pull yourself forward on the bars, two, solid contact with the bike here, squeeze it with your legs, and then easy acceleration until the bike's fully rotated and back in a straight line. This is it for today's adventure motorcycle off-road riding tip. Fun little drill. It helps you a lot to just gain bike control overall. One, it's a lot more fun, a lot quicker to turn your bike around. Two, you do get a good feel for throttle and brake control, which becomes really beneficial, especially if you ride more off-road. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Leave us a comment with some of the other riding tips and riding techniques that you would like to see, and we will see you next week for another riding tip.